The arrest warrant issued for Miss Universe co-owner Jakkaphong and Jakrajutatip has sent shockwaves through the global pageant world, igniting a scandal so massive that it now threatens the credibility, reputation, and future of one of the most iconic beauty institutions in history. What many believed would be the dawn of a new era for Miss Universe, filled with inclusivity, global expansion, and modern branding, has instead spiraled into a legal firestorm involving fraud allegations, financial collapse, missed court dates, and even cross-border criminal investigations. And as this story unfolds in real time, the glamour of the crown has never looked more tarnished. The chaos erupted when a Bangkok court announced that an arrest warrant had officially been issued for Jakkaphong and Jakrajutatip, the high-profile Thai businesswoman who became internationally known after acquiring the Miss Universe organization in 2022. Anne was expected to appear for a scheduled hearing in a major fraud case, a hearing that many believed would determine the next chapter of her corporate battles. But instead of walking into the courtroom with cameras following her every step, as she often did, she was nowhere to be found. Her absence was not only unexpected, but legally consequential. The court determined that her failure to appear made her a potential flight risk, and that alone was enough to authorize a warrant for her arrest. This is not an isolated legal issue. It stems from a long-running lawsuit filed in 2023 by Raúl Rocha Cantú, who alleges that Anne and her company JKN Global Group enticed him into purchasing corporate bonds under false pretenses. According to the allegations, Anne assured the investor that JKN, the company she used to acquire Miss Universe, was financially stable and fully capable of repaying debts. But soon after, everything unraveled. Payments on those bonds allegedly failed to materialize, leaving the investor out nearly 30 million baht, which translates to close to $1 million US. As the court battles escalated, the financial situation at JKN Global Group grew more dire. By late 2023, the company publicly admitted defaulting on several payments, sending shockwaves through the Thailand business community and raising serious questions about how the Miss Universe acquisition was financed. Then came 2024, the year when everything began collapsing at once. JKN was forced into debt rehabilitation, revealing that their financial troubles were far more severe than initially disclosed. The company was drowning in debt, roughly 3 billion baht worth, the equivalent of more than $90 million. Creditors demanded answers, investors demanded accountability, and the public demanded explanations on how such a massive financial empire could crumble so quickly. In 2025, the pressure reached a boiling point. Anne stepped down from her leadership roles at JKN, announcing her resignation from key executive positions. But even then, the story didn't end. She remained the company's largest shareholder, continued to be associated with its decisions, and remained deeply entangled in the legal fallout from its downward spiral. When accusations surfaced that JKN manipulated or falsified financial statements in 2023, the scrutiny intensified. There were whispers that the company had never been as financially stable as Anne portrayed, raising suspicions that the acquisition of Miss Universe may have been built on shaky foundations from the start. Now, with an arrest warrant hanging over her head and her whereabouts currently unknown, speculation is swirling about whether she is deliberately avoiding the courts or whether there are undisclosed reasons for her absence. The hearing she missed has now been rescheduled for December 26th, a date that many are calling a make-or-break moment for both her legal future and the future of her empire. But as dramatic as this saga already is, the Miss Universe controversy doesn't end with Anne. In fact, the scandal stretches even further, all the way to Mexico, creating a tangled web of international allegations that feels almost too wild to be real. The other co-owner of Miss Universe, Mexican businessman Raúl Rocha Cantú, is simultaneously embroiled in a massive criminal investigation of his own. In recent weeks, authorities in Mexico announced that he is facing accusations involving drug trafficking, weapon smuggling, illegal fuel operations and ties to a cross-border organized crime network. Investigators allege that his business operations may have served as a front for criminal activities, allowing contraband to move across Mexico and into Guatemala. These allegations shocked the pageant world to its core, raising questions about how a man with such serious accusations tied to organized crime became a co-owner of an international beauty pageant brand. And just as with Anne, authorities have moved to take legal action against Cantú. Reports indicate that an arrest warrant has also been requested in connection with the criminal case, though the legal process is ongoing. For Miss Universe, this means that in the span of just a few days, both of its top owners have become subjects of major legal investigations, one for financial fraud and corporate deception, the other for alleged involvement in international criminal networks. It is a level of scandal the pageant has never seen before. To make matters worse, the 2025 Miss Universe pageant itself was already suffering from credibility problems even before these arrest warrants came into play. This year's competition was surrounded by accusations of vote manipulation, behind-the-scenes corruption, sudden resignations from judges, and contestants allegedly walking out in protest. What should have been a celebration of global beauty and cultural unity turned into a whisper-filled mess of backstage drama and political bias claims. Fans across the world took to social media to express frustration, saying that the results felt rigged, predetermined, or influenced by money and politics. The controversies surrounding the winners sparked debates that continued long after the crown was placed. Now, with legal scandals piling on top of organizational drama, critics are calling this the darkest period in Miss Universe's history. Commentaries online have turned harsh, with many saying the pageant has become a circus, an embarrassment, and even a sinking ship. Some pageant experts fear that sponsors may pull out, countries may withdraw participation, and fans may lose trust entirely. Others worry that the pageant's legacy, a global tradition that has lasted more than 7 decades, may not survive the blowback from these scandals. But the emotional reactions don't stop there. Supporters of Anne argue that she has been unfairly targeted, pointing out her journey as a transgender businesswoman who broke barriers in a conservative industry. They claim that her enemies have long been waiting for her downfall, and that the accusations are being exaggerated for political or financial reasons. Admirers who once praised her for modernizing the Miss Universe brand now feel torn, wondering whether they misjudged the situation or whether the truth is more complicated than the headlines suggest. Meanwhile, those who have followed Cantú's career in Mexico say they are not surprised by the accusations against him. Some claim that rumors have been circulating for years about his connections to powerful groups. Others argue that his involvement in Miss Universe always seemed unusual considering his previous business history. Still, until the investigations conclude, the truth remains uncertain. As both co-owners face legal uncertainty, a looming question hangs over the entire Miss Universe organization. Who is actually in charge now, and what does this mean for the future of the pageant? Without stable leadership, without financial transparency, and without trust from the public, the organization is standing on extremely unstable ground. Industry insiders warn that the brand could face mass withdrawals, severe financial losses, and a collapse in global confidence if immediate steps are not taken to restore credibility. There is also fear that countries may reconsider sending their representatives next year. Pageant directors around the world have expressed concern about the fairness, transparency, and safety of participating in a brand surrounded by legal chaos. Some influential countries have already issued statements demanding clarity before committing to future competitions. Miss Universe fans, some of the most passionate fans in the entertainment world, are now calling for a complete restructuring, including the removal of the current owners and the appointment of neutral leadership. The fallout continues to grow each day. As of now, Anne's court hearing has been postponed to late December, which means the world is waiting to see if she will finally appear, or if the scandal will deepen even further. And with Cantú's investigation ongoing in Mexico, more explosive revelations could surface at any moment. What was once a symbol of elegance and global unity is now drowning in legal trouble, financial collapse, missing executives, international crime allegations, and more questions than answers. And yet one thing is certain, the Miss Universe scandal has become one of the most dramatic and unexpected stories in modern entertainment, rewriting the legacy of the crown and exposing a complex web of power, money, and controversy. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.